I just told her Uzi, pull up with it, we gon' shoot. I just told her Melly, pull up with it, let it loose.
Today we're gonna talk about 5 reasons why you can't 360. You guys love these 5 reasons why videos, and I haven't made one in like a week or two, so I thought I'd bring out how to 360, well, not a how to, the 5 reasons why you can't 360. And I know, I skipped the 180. I know some of you want me to do the 180, but I think the 360 is much more valuable, as the 180 is just more of a, you just do it. 360, there's actually a lot more technique than you may think, and I've got 5 good tips that'll help you get the dip look, get it clean, get it consistent, and just so you can do it. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, my name is Greyson Roberts. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make vlogs. I do videos like this. Basically, I just like to have a good time with the camera, my homies at the skate park, in the streets, doing whatever, riding scooters, skateboards, BMX. Also, real quick, something that I've been selling recently on the YouTube channel, it's been helping a lot of you out, is I've got the beginner's guide to BMX. Basically, it teaches you everything you need to know. Just go ahead and click the link in the description. There will be a description and kind of give you the overview of why it's so valuable and why you should invest in it. I believe it's $7, which is cheaper than a combo meal at McDonald's. But it'll kind of put you in a position where you can learn what I've learned over the past like 5 years in BMX, skip that learning curve and advance more quickly, whether it's learning how to do tricks fast, types of bikes to buy, shoes, brands to go for or stay away from, all sorts of stuff, so make sure you go check that course out. Anyway, let's get into the video. So the first reason that you can't 360 is because you're focusing on the pull, the strength. You're focusing on everything but the form. Now, some people, I've heard them say, well, you know, Grayson, my bike is too fat, or I am too fat. And I always reply, you're dumb as shit. It has nothing to do with that. It's all with form, not how heavy you are or the bike. I've 360'd like 50-pound bikes before. It was ugly and it was hard, but I've done it. So it's completely about the form. So just kind of get that out of your head that either you're not strong enough, you're too big, you're too small, your bike's too big, your bike's too small, weighs too much. Anything like that, it has absolutely nothing to do with you or the bike. It is complete form. And yeah, this trick does help if you have a little bit of strength and a little bit of more, you know, oomph in your pull. It does help, but it's not completely all that's required, because I can do a beautiful hop 360. I'll give you an example right here, with just very, very little effort. Now, when I was first learning this, and I did think it was all strength and not form, I was just, you know, they looked all right, but they were just, it took so much energy. I couldn't do them very consistently because I would do one and I'd use all my energy and I'd be tired. So the second I learned that form is actually the key to it, I was able to do 360s for a long period of time. I was able to actually do hop trucks because I wasn't focusing all my strength on the 360, I was focusing all my strength on the bar spin. So it really helps to understand that form is more important than the strength or all those reasons. So now that you understand that, we're getting into reason number 2, which is actually understanding the form. It's looking not completely over, but at or under your shoulder. So some people, you can say, all you gotta do is turn your torso, turn your head, look at your landing, turn it, look over your shoulder. That's what some people, you can tell them that and they'll just do it. Everybody's different, everybody's got their little thing, but sometimes I tell people that and they'll go up, they'll pull, and they'll turn everything like they're supposed to, and they'll look over their shoulder, but they kind of turn or like lift in the direction they're looking. So they look over their shoulder, they're pulling up, and then that's when you get that really bad pivot, or you just land like a pencil too bad. What you want a 360 to look like is up, flat, come down. You don't want it to be like a pencil, you don't want that. So to fix this is, sometimes this screws people up, but you really just gotta kind of understand, don't look over if you're doing the pencil thing. Look either at your shoulder, because if you're one of those people that just naturally follows where you look, if you look at your shoulder, you're gonna pull up, and instead of looking over and pulling up, you're gonna look at and keep it even. So if you're still kind of getting that pencil, or you're pivoting too much, try looking under your shoulder. Now, this is a bit extreme. I do this when I'm teaching people how to, or I tell people to do this when I'm teaching people how to dip 360. So whenever you're looking under your shoulder, that's right, you're gonna be dipping, you're gonna be going down. But for some people, they have to overcorrect like that. Everybody's different, like I said, so maybe if you're doing the pencil thing and you're just one of those severe cases, start looking under your shoulder. And if you're good at 360s, just another little secret, if you wanna get the dip, pull up and look under. Not over, not at, under. It makes it so much easier, and it really makes sense. You're pulling up, that's gonna pencil it, that's gonna be even, that's gonna be dipped. It just makes sense. Tip number 3. So the pencil thing, looking at your shoulder instead of like up and over, just kind of a nice easy look around. that will help you from penciling really bad. I don't know the real term for that. I've said the word pencil like 800 times so far this video. Another thing that you can do is suck up your back end. So if you're looking at it and you suck up your back end, maybe you can look over your shoulder and you're kind of up like this and you're just kind of rotating, but you want it to have that level look. Or you just want a little extra steeze. If you just, as you can see, so you're gonna hop up and you're gonna be rotating like this. You're gonna be pulling up. So if you just suck your back end up, that right there will level it out. And the concept of sucking your back end up combined with looking under your shoulder, that is gonna get you the most beautiful dip 3. If you pull up, you suck your back end up and you look under, so that way your back end's higher than usual and you're already in that dip motion. That's what's gonna get you in that the dipped look. So all of these things are just trying to get you to focus on thinking about form, thinking about the proper way to do it, rather than just thinking it's all strength. Because if you think about it, if you just pull super hard, no matter how hard you pull, you're still not gonna get that dipped look unless you understand the form that goes into it. All right, so reason number 4 is too much or too little carve. Now, I tell some people when I'm teaching them the 360, you gotta carve. Some people, they'll ride in a complete straight line and they'll just pull up and try to do it. That's kind of harder to do when learning. If you're more experienced, you can just ride in a straight line and you can pop a hop 3, dip it out like nothing. But if you're just learning, it helps to get more momentum. By momentum, I mean carve. So instead of going at a complete straight line, you're gonna kind of swerve over to get that rotation started and then pop off. And if you think about it, it's a lot easier to learn. Instead of trying to just go up in the air, then turn, you're gonna carve and then do the bunny hop, and that's just gonna shoot you in that direction. Now I see people overdo it. I see people sometimes, they're gonna go to do a 360 and either they don't carve and all they need to do is carve a little bit, or they carve to about 90 degrees. So that means they're going straight and they'll carve so hard, they've already gone 90 degrees and then they'll just do a 270. And of course, if you're carving that violently, your physical body's gonna wanna spin faster than your bike and everything else. So it's just gonna look crazy, you're gonna fall off, you're gonna blow off the back end. Nothing real good is gonna happen. So what you wanna do is, let's say this is the 90 degrees. This is your riding straight. This is the carving way too much at the 90 degree mark. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna ride and you're gonna wanna carve about 45, then pull up. Just a nice little easy turn and then use that momentum to flick around. But if you overdo it, if you go all the way to 90, you're just gonna kind of fall off sideways which way or the other. It's just not gonna end up right. So if you're gonna carve, make sure you pay attention and pop off right at the 45 degree angle, not the 90 degree angle. I don't know about you, but I was always super good with angles and all that stuff in math class. I never really gave a shit about math at all. I hated it, it was whack. But the whole oh, whatever, I'd be we'd always be talking about I don't know, whatever, but just from doing the whole 180, 360, 540, 720, 1080, 1440, just all the rotations, I was always really good at all those full angles and then plus everything in between, just from learning BMX and stuff, the 270 and the 450 and all that stuff. So I don't know, comment below if you were really awkwardly f***ing good at that unit in math class. Anyway, so number 5 is probably the simplest, but okay, so I don't know if you subscribe, I don't know if you watch the vlogs, but a lot of my vlogs, I have this guy named Dylan Ashlock. He's the owner of OPV Max. Anyway, I catch him doing this one. He will go out and he will either do it's not just a 360, it could be a 540, or it could be a truck driver. It's usually not the plain 360 because he's got those. But I catch him not turning his head. He will go out, he will start turning his head, he will throw the bar at 180, and then once he catches the bar around 270, he's looking, he catches the bar at 270, and then he just stops looking and falls off. Keep your head turned. You would be surprised at how many people, they know, oh, I gotta keep my head turned, but they don't. When I say keep your head turned, this is what I mean. Keep your head and torso turned all the way, and then you're gonna stare at your landing. Don't just start it and then expect to ride it out. You gotta keep that bitch looking and stare at your landing until your tires touch the ground. Keep everything turned for the entire time. I can't emphasize that enough. Like I said, Dylan, he knows how to 360. He's doing 540s. I've seen him do 720s out of banks. But it's common because you'll get into it and you'll think you're turning your head, but really you're not. You gotta make sure you gotta stay conscious. You're turning your head all the way through and stare at your landing. That goes for 540s, 720s. That goes for 180s. And once I tell people to stare at their landing, because if you know to stare at your landing, you're obviously gonna keep rotating until you can fucking see that thing and lock in on it. Once you understand the concept of stare at your landing, you're never gonna have a problem keeping your head turned again, because naturally, if you're trying to look at your landing, you're gonna be turned. So those were 5 reasons why you may not be able to 360, and hopefully these tips will help you learn it faster. Comment down below what 5 reasons why video you want me to make next. I've already made the bar spin, I've already made the tail whip, and right now we just did the 360. I would hope you knew that. Anyway, make sure you hit that subscribe button, also the like button, so I know to make more of these. Check out the course in the description, and if the course is not your thing, you already know how to 360. Maybe you're not a beginner, maybe you're a f***ing professional. I don't know you. I don't know what you do. So go ahead and skip that link. Maybe check out my BMX store. I have a store down there. You know, it's Amazon. It's all my favorite brands. Go check that out. But I don't know, maybe you're still f***ing professional. I don't know. You've got all the parts in the world. You don't need a course on how to start. Well, then go check out my merch, motherfucker.
I need 10 so I can look at the snakes and poses. I need 10 cause bottom head is non-disclosure. I need 10 so I can live with a peace of mind without niggas taking a piece of mine.